I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at my website, starborninstitute.org, that would almost be a miracle, because I've been having trouble with that, getting it up lately, but don't worry, I'm going to solve those problems and sort of make it up to you in the future. But for right now, this week's show is titled, "The Party is Over," and that is because tomorrow we are having a wonderful new moon, a very powerful one, at 21 degrees of Capricorn. And Capricorn rules your 10th house of career and your public reputation and your rewards that you earned the hard way over a long period of time, such as your pension plans or your retirement funds or any awards or accolades that you have deserved through very hard work. So Capricorn is a very practical business sign. And we have two new moons this year in Capricorn, tomorrow's, which is the first of the new year, and then we have another one, which is the last new moon of the new year, and it is on December 30th. And the time span in between tomorrow's new moon and the one that's coming at the end of the year simply means that you are going to probably have to face grim reality right now in things that involve your career, or your job, or your health, or practical matters, certainly financial matters, that you are dealing with. And that is because under the powerful new moon tomorrow in Capricorn, I think that a lethal blow is dealt to large corporations, government agencies, or institutions, or even whole countries, or governments, because that's what Capricorn rules. And the new moon tomorrow is very powerful. It has the sun and the new moon in it, but it has Mars in it as well. And Mars is exalted in Capricorn, and exalted planets beat everything. So you could describe somebody who had Mars in Capricorn as being very aggressive and very determined, would never give up on any kind of a business matter, could even be somewhat ruthless. And then the fourth planet in Capricorn is Pluto. And Pluto is at the 29th degree of fate. Remember, that's the degree of fate in a sign that rules your career. And so what we see now is that upper management in large corporations, government agencies, or institutions are going to have to face grim reality because budgets will be slashed. And when they're slashed, that's going to have an effect on a lot of people, maybe even millions of people. And so we have to take that into account. The reason budgets may be slashed early in the new year is simply because there isn't enough money to go around, or there's too much debt that corporations or even whole governments can be mired in right now. And so they have to cut costs. And lots of times they do that by cutting jobs. And so you may end the year in an even better career than the one you have right now. It may not have been your initial choice, but that could happen to you. And actually, by the time of the second new moon in Capricorn, I think you'd be very happy with where you are in your career, and that your public reputation could even be enhanced by the end of the year, particularly if you make a change, whether it's forced upon you or whether you elect to make it yourself. Because this is a time when grim reality has to be faced, because the planets are in an odd configuration. And it's true for all of us in all of our charts. What it means is that one half of your chart has all 10 planets in it. But the other half of your chart has no planets in it. So you can be very concerned with matters that you are even very worried about right now or working hard at. And there can be a lot of thrust or motivation, and you can be very busy in one half of your life. But the other half of your life is absolutely empty. There's no planets there. And so that could be very quiet. But maybe that's good, because maybe if you're real busy in one area, then you need to take a little time out in another area instead if you can. Another way that the planets are sort of stacked up is because there are 6 planets that are in a trine in the Earth signs. So it's the Sun, the new moon, that exalted Mars, and Pluto in Capricorn, and they are all trining Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus. So there is backup to this new moon. There's people who have money and who are making investments that can be a little bit worried about the way business is moving along right now, and that would be in reaction to either current or future budgets. And a lot of people can be, particularly upper management, can be really looking at their budgets right now, and they may not like what they see as they are planning for the new year. There's another way to think about all this, and it is that there are another 6 planets, or there are also 6 planets, which are very compact and very close together. And it is, once again, the 4 in Capricorn, the Sun, the new moon, the exalted Mars, and Pluto. And then right behind them are Venus and Mercury in Sagittarius. These 2 planets are very good planets, and they're coming up right behind the 4 planets under the new moon tomorrow. And so there can be very favorable news. Venus is a favorable planet, and Mercury rules news. So there can be favorable news about the things that Sagittarius rules, such as religion or philosophy or higher education or the courts, some sort of court matter, or the judicial system, or simply large bodies or organizations that have worldwide or international appeal. And even the whole matter of international law can be dwelt with now in a very favorable way because Venus is there. So that's good. But those things, even the good news about them, can be overshadowed right now by the thrust and the strength of those 4 planets in Capricorn. And in particular, not only is Mars, Mars is generally an aggressive planet that sort of stirs up trouble and wants to have its own way. I mean, it's a real energizer planet. And it's in that practical business sign of Capricorn. But the other planet that we have to take into consideration is that Pluto at the 29th degree of Capricorn. It means that a lot of people's careers are on the line right now. And it can be because of budget constraints that their employers are facing, or that government agencies are facing, or large institutions. And so that can be a drawback. But at the same time, there is the possibility with both Mars and Pluto in Capricorn as well, that people in upper management in these large organizations worldwide, it could even be the leader of a country that I'm talking about, these people can be involved in something that involves the censure or the degradation or the really bad publicity that has to do with the organization they belong to. Because Mars and Pluto rule Scorpio, and Scorpio rules justice, and generally if there's a need for justice, there's a reason why. And so it can be that some leaders' careers are really at stake now because of that they've done something to the organizations that they had that have caused degradation to the organization, or a loss of prestige, or some sort of disrespect, or just a loss of enthusiasm for the organization. In other words, they don't have as much backing as they used to have. And that can be a problem. And there can be different reasons for that. One of the big reasons is that there can be some funny business that some people in upper management may have been handling behind the scenes and getting away with it. Only now there could be information coming out that is so well documented that deals with illegal or unethical business practices or just blatant greed of some people in high positions, that when that comes out and it's well documented, then the party's over. And that's a lethal blow to them, but the title of the show is The Party is Over. It can be that the party is over for not only the leaders, but everyone they consorted with. And so that could be possible. So it just means that the party is over for anybody, particularly people in upper management, who let their greed get the best of them. And so what that means is that they may have created some sort of very disappointing situation that gets publicized, or they may have done something illegal, or certainly unethical, or they could simply have tarnished the reputation or made the reputation of the organization that they had go into some sort of disrepute in one way or another. And it could even have been caused by money. And generally people in upper management have money and they are paid well. But it can be that some leaders had decided that you know, if some money is good, more is better, and they could have been terribly greedy and willing to do a lot of unethical things to get what they wanted. And this could be a time when they are discovered or found out, or when simply public sentiment turns against them. And that's why the party is over, simply because their greed got the better of them. And greed means that they'd be willing to do anything to get the money that they wanted. And that would have caused harm either to the organization they belong to, in other words, that reputation, or it could have simply opened the whole organization to censure of some sort, or to some sort of public degradation. In other words, loss of a good reputation. And so that's too bad. But so the party can be over for a lot of different reasons right now, as we all have to face grim reality. So this is a very serious new moon that we're having tomorrow. But remember, it's backed up by Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus. So I mean, if you're not one of these people that's particularly greedy, but you have been working very hard, you could be seeing a lot of different opportunities to expand your talents. I mean, Capricorn rules hard work, but it rules the kind of work where you just persevere. Okay, you don't have to be a speedster. In fact, Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, is a very slow planet. And its transit is 28 to 30 years to get around a chart only once. So that means that you don't have to be speedy, but you do have to be honorable and honest and trustworthy and reliable. Those are all earth sign traits. And they are traits that generally garner respect from other people. And once you have that, that is when you can be well regarded. But if you forsake all of that simply because of your own greed, the party's over, and it's going to stay over. You know, you may end up having to pay for that, because the two strongest planets in the heavens right now are both in Capricorn, and they're not the Sun and the Moon. They are Mars, which is exalted there, and Pluto, which is at the 29th degree of fate. And they are the rulers of Scorpio, and Scorpio rules justice. So somebody's going to be getting their justice pretty soon, and sure hope it isn't you, but it's going to be somebody, and it will be somebody pretty high up. And I must say, they probably have it coming. So we'll wait and see what happens. Remember, it could even be somebody who's head of a whole government, who may have done something illegal. Because remember, those planets in Sagittarius are right behind this new moon, and they're good planets in Sagittarius. But Sagittarius rules international law. So I would say, with the good planets there, international law will be upheld. Oh, so the party might be over for somebody. All right, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Aries. For you, Aries, I think you're going to benefit right now from the fact that Venus and Mercury in Sagittarius are trining your sun, Aries. That's good for you. you should, at the very least, you should be getting some good news about the possibility of going on a long-distance trip. That would be great for you. You'd love that. Or it can be that people from a foreign country are coming to see you, or it can be that you are involved in some sort of religious or philosophical matter right now, or you're learning more about it, and that would be good as well. So Aries, there is a possibility that if you're not making a new beginning right now, somebody else can be, and they may be asking you to join them in their endeavor in one way or another. That would be great. And I would go down that road if I were you, Aries, because actually the Sun, the new moon, and your ruler, Mars, and Pluto are all in Capricorn squaring your Sun. So I hope that you have not been involved in anything that has brought disrepute to the organization you belong to, because you might suffer for that right now. But if instead you are if you think that the beginning of the year is a great time to go out and explore the possibilities in other ways, even in other countries, or in higher education, or in working with people in the courts, or who are from foreign countries, I think you do pretty well with that, Aries. Even if you were just thinking about it right now, you do well. And besides, there's a solar eclipse. It's a rather potent solar eclipse in your sign coming up in the spring, in April. So you are going to have a chance to make a new beginning. So I would say just try to make the right choice right now, Aries. It's real important that you stick to business. And it's not funny business, it's real business if you can. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, this is a time when your sign just has a ton of backup, but it's really serious backup, Taurus. Oh, you're going to have to face grim reality right now. It could do you a lot of good, though, Taurus, because the Sun, new moon, Mars, and Pluto in Capricorn are all trining Jupiter, which is a very good planet in your sign, and Uranus is in your sign as well. Uranus is the only retrograde planet left. There's only one, and it is in your sign. Which means, since Uranus rules sudden surprising change, and it's in your sign, which is a fixed financial sign, it simply means that there could be a sudden fluctuation in one way or another in your financial transactions or in your financial accounts in one way or another. In other words, the price could go up, or what could be even worse, Taurus, is that the costs could go up. And if costs go up, there's not going to be any way to wiggle out of that. You're going to have to perhaps pay some extra bills. Or it can be that you're thinking of retirement or rearranging your investments. Even if you are retired, you could be deciding to rearrange your investments. And I think that with Jupiter in your sign, you can be lucky at things like that. But I would say that this is a better time to watch the timing of something. And it may not be your timing. It might be the timing of what other people are doing, or what other organizations are announcing. Or, you know, if I were you, Taurus, before you moved your money around at all right now, I would be very cautious and almost take a wait-and-see attitude about what others are doing first before you. In other words, I wouldn't be too adventurous right now, Taurus. Because the planets in Capricorn, the Sun and the Moon are good planets, but that exalted Mars and Pluto at the 29th degree, even though they're trining your Sun, it means the party's over. And I think you should wait for the fallout, Taurus. I'm not saying it's going to happen to you, but you should wait and see what happens before you move your money around too much right now. So be cautious. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Gemini. Well, Gemini, you could be a little restless right now. There aren't any planets in air signs at all. But, you know, spring's coming. You could be thinking of new things that you want to do or trips that you want to take. Your sign rules short journeys, and it rules short forms of education, such as a class or a training seminar, or just some skill that you want to sort of polish up a little bit. And so you could go back to school for a refresher course, something like that. All of those things are pretty well favored. You could just do that on your own, in your own time frame, Gemini, and that would be just fine with you. Your sign rules buying and selling. And so once again, since the party's over and something is going to happen to somebody who's pretty high up right now. If you are a person that would rather just sit on the sidelines and watch the parade of what's coming down, I think that that's a good idea. And the reason why is there isn't an emphasis in the air signs right now. I don't think people are too interested in new ideas because they're feeling sort of threatened by economic conditions around them right now. I'm not so certain that you're feeling threatened by that, Gemini, but other people can be feeling that. And for that reason, I think that you should concentrate just a little bit more on your own interests. And they do not have to be big long-term interests. They could just be something that you want to do now. And so why don't you just go out and try something new? There wouldn't be anything wrong with it. And if it's sort of short, then you're not really committing yourself too much to anything, but at least you're branching out a little bit. And there wouldn't be anything wrong with that, Gemini, because Jupiter's coming into your sign on May 26th, and that's not that far away. And you know, your life is really going to expand in the next year. So why don't you sort of explore the possibilities right now? I think it would do you a lot of good. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Cancer. Well, Cancer, you could be feeling the brunt of what I'm talking about now, because the party's over for somebody. I'm not so certain it's you, Cancer, but you may suffer the residual effect of whoever is going through some sort of lethal blow to their organization or to their career or to their public reputation in one way or another. And the reason why is that those 4 planets in Capricorn, the Sun, the Moon, Mars, and Pluto, are all opposing your sun sign, Cancer. And so that simply means that somebody is having a heap of trouble, business-wise or career-wise, and they may have brought it upon themselves. And if so, there isn't much you can do about it. And so this is a time when people have to face grim reality. You may have to as well, Cancer, but the grim reality may not be about you. It may be about people you've been associating with, or people you do business with, or people you've known in a group or a career, or people who are in upper management in any kind of an organization. It may be a little bit more about them than it is about you, Cancer, right now. But still, if they're in trouble, I would caution you not to jump in. And the reason why is that whatever is happening to somebody where the party is over and a lethal blow is being dealt to an organization that they are involved in, they have brought it upon themselves. And they have brought it upon themselves primarily due to their own greed. And you're not going to be able to change that, Cancer. And that is not exactly where a Cancer is coming from. It doesn't mean that Cancers don't like money, but what a Cancer cares about most is their loved ones and their home. And I would stick to that, Cancer. There are 2 planets in water signs, and it's Neptune and Saturn in Pisces, which are trining your sun. And they're going to keep doing that this year. And so this is still a very good time for you to try and make a delayed dream come true while you have the support of these planets. Saturn, it rules Capricorn, but it's a slow, steady planet, and it rules time. And so, Cancer, if anything, it's sort of time for you to make a delayed dream come true if you can. At least get it underway, get it started. It wouldn't be a quickie. It'd be something that had been around for a long time that you'd been thinking about, but to get it to work, that's going to take some time. But at least you'd be concentrating on your own interests and not of the interests of others who have more or less created the problem they're in through their own greed. So there may be a parting of the ways in your life, Cancer, and I think that it would be like a heavy weight lifting from your shoulders and being gone forever. And there's no reason to be nostalgic about that. It's going to make you feel a lot better, maybe even a lot younger. So think about that, and let something be, Cancer, because it's too late to do anything about it anyway, and you're going to be better off if you sort of detach from it right now. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, this is a time, Leo, when you too, just like Aries, can be taking advantage of the fact that there could be some good news coming because Venus, and which is a good planet, and Mercury, which is the planet of news, are in Sagittarius trining your sun, Leo. And so there can be some good news about higher education, or about the courts, or about religion or philosophy, or people from foreign countries, or a trip that you're thinking about to a foreign country. All of that could be rather positive for you right now, Leo, because those two planets in Sagittarius are favorably trining your sun. Any good news regarding the things that Sagittarius rules, though, can be overshadowed right now by the thrust and the strength of tomorrow's new moon, with the Sun, new moon, Mars, and Pluto in Capricorn. But I would say, Leo, that yours is a dynamic fire sign. Leos move fast when they want to. All the fire signs do. And this may be a very good time for you to just sort of quickly change and go in a new direction, or in another direction, or concentrate on something that has a positive outlook to it, because this is a time when the party's over and there are going to be some grim results or some grim reality that people have to face. And you might have to too, Leo. But I think you can do something about it, because your sign is, you know, the fire signs do have support, and it's pretty good, Venus and Mercury. So if I were you, Leo, I'd think of going in a new direction. Why not? You have nothing to lose. And besides, there could be good news somewhere around about the things that Sagittarius rules, and we could all use good news. So if you get some good news, Leo, I hope you follow up on it, because that could make you feel good. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Virgo. This is a time, Virgo, when I think that you can be very, very seriously considering some business or career options. And I think that there is even the possibility that some long-held plan or idea of yours, maybe it never even got into the planning stages, but it was just some sort of idea that you've always had in the back of your mind. Maybe this is the time when you should get much more serious about it, Virgo, because there are 6 planets trining your sun. That's really good, because the Sun, new moon, Mars, which is very determined in Capricorn because it's exalted there, and Pluto at the 29th degree of fate. So something tied to a career plan of yours, or a desire for a change in your career, or something like that, or a new career direction, could be presenting itself to you, or you could be dwelling on that and thinking about that more and more and getting very serious about it, Virgo. And then Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus are also trining your sun. Jupiter is direct, but Uranus isn't. It's the only retrograde planet, and that means there can still be a sudden change or fluctuation in the money. And what would that be? Well, it isn't coming in more, Virgo. I think it's going out more. Costs could be high for you in one way or another, and you would simply have to pay them. And Virgo rules banking. Virgos and accounting. If you had a higher cost that you had to pay right now, Virgo, you'd have the money for it, so you could go ahead and do it. You might feel like you're getting hurt by parting with the money, but on the other hand, you're not getting hurt because you have enough money to go ahead and solve a problem if you want to solve it, or to change the direction of your life, or a career goal of yours. You could do it. And with 6 planets trining your sun, this is a time to get serious about it, Virgo. Why wait? This is a time when everybody has to face practical reality, but you're good at that. And so I would say you're going to get a lot of help with a serious intention or idea that you have had for a while, and this could be the time to follow through with it. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, there aren't any planets in the air signs. Oh, darn it. Don't worry, you're still going to have a good year, Libra, because there's 2 eclipses in your sign, one that's coming up pretty soon, and another in the fall. And then also Jupiter is going into Gemini on May 26th, so for a year, and it'll be trining your sun. Oh, that's going to be good too. So Libra, this can be a time when, okay, not everything is going to look rosy, and that is because the sun, the new moon, Mars, which is exalted in Capricorn, and Pluto at the 29th degree of fate are all squaring your sun. Just like they're squaring the Aries sun, and they're opposing the Cancer sun. Okay, so the cardinal signs, which have very definite ideas about their values, are being challenged. Those values are being challenged right now in all the cardinal signs. And the 4 cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. And so this is a time, Libra, when you really have to re-examine your values, and it's sort of like doing some house cleaning. You're going to have to decide what to keep and what to throw away. And why would you have to do that now? Well, it's because there are better days ahead for you, Libra. And yet, you know, we all carry baggage with us as we get older. We carry memories, and we carry experiences with us. And some are good, some aren't so good. But it still all adds up to the same way. It's baggage. It's heavy. It's living in the past. And if you take that as a shroud, then what you're doing is you're protecting yourself by always reminding yourself of past memories, but at the same time you're setting up barriers to your own future by not letting them go and deciding to go forward anyway. You have to do that, Libra. You know, it's like your future is calling you very definitely this year. And it looks to me like it's going to be a great future. And it's going to be sustainable. Okay, just remember that, Libra. If you're going forward toward a new partnership, or you're going forward toward some new business venture of yours, or a new career choice of yours, or a new place to live, whatever it is, it's going to be sustainable. Meaning, you know, you can start it, and even if it takes you clear till fall to sort of get everything in the right place, you can make it this year doing that, and then it will be sustained. So there you are. You're going to be in your future. But you have to stop shrouding yourself in the past. And you know, let that go for Libra. And the reason why is that it's so heavy. It's weighing you down. And you don't need that, you know. You need to sort of let go of the past so you can sort of young yourself up and get going. And believe me, this is a year for you to do that, Libra, so I wish you luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, this is a time when I think justice is going to be done. And you might be the person to do it too, Scorpio. Now, Scorpio is a very quiet sign. When it wants to be, it rules secrecy, and it rules the spy business. And Scorpios rules psychology. And so Scorpios like to figure out where other people are coming from first before they do anything. And generally, after they've figured that out, they can be pretty successful in what they're doing. And so sometimes it takes a Scorpio a long time to make up their mind about a person or a situation or a choice of theirs, something like that. But that isn't because they're avoiding it. It is because they're doing a lot of thinking about it or looking things over, which is good. And then they don't say much. And so, Scorpio, this is a time when you may not have said something or talked about it or even really sort of gotten down to the nitty-gritty steps that you have to take towards some sort of long-delayed dream that you've had. But you better do that pretty soon, Scorpio. And you can be involved in a matter that requires justice right now because your rulers, Mars and Pluto, are in Capricorn and they are sextiling your sun. And they are the two strongest planets in the heavens right now. Even though the sun and the moon are in Capricorn, Mars is exalted there and Pluto is at 29th degree of fate. Those are your rulers, Scorpio. And so something that you are deciding now is in your hands. And it has something to do with a career or a business matter or a retirement matter or a government matter, the things that Capricorn rules. There's going to be a sense of justice involving upper management in a large corporation, government agency, or institution. And you may be the person that is administering the justice in one way or another, and it's time. It's time for that, and you know it. And it's also going to be better for whoever is sort of getting the justice, because perhaps they let their greed take them one step too far. And somebody has to stop that. And sometimes you can't stop a person or you can't change a person, but you can say goodbye to them. You can get out of the picture, or you can go in a new direction. Do you know what I mean? Some people you just can't change. They're going to stay the same way no matter what. But that doesn't mean you have to be stuck with them. We all have freedom of choice. And yet Scorpios are very convinced that justice should be done. And Scorpio hates injustice. They don't go for that at all. So if there has been an injustice around you anywhere, Scorpio, this might be the time when through your rulers, which are so strong right now, that you decide to do something about evening the score a little bit. And you should. So what that means, Scorpio, is that it's time to move on and instead concentrate more on a dream you have. And it doesn't include somebody else that's where the party's over for them. Just let that go. Because Saturn and Neptune in Pisces are still trining your sun, just like they're trining the Cancer sun. And, you know, strike while the iron is hot. Or, I don't know what you're waiting for. You need to go in a direction that will make you happy, Scorpio. And why shouldn't you? It's time. And so I hope you do that. And the party's over for somebody else. It's not over for you. In fact, possibly the best is yet to come. But I think some justice has to be done, and you may be involved in it in one way or another. Rightly so. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarius? Well, Sagittarius, remember I said there's good news coming your way, Sagittarius, because the planet of news, Mercury, is in your sign, and so is Venus. Oh, that's a lovely planet to have in your sun sign. So I think you're getting some good news, Sagittarius. It could be about a trip that you want to take. It could be about some matter that involves entertainment or a concert, something you'd like to go see, or something that involves the courts or a legal decision of one kind or another. It could even be something that involves international law or people from foreign countries, or something that had been an injustice somewhere and you may have been following it closely in the news, and now there's some good news about it, as if maybe the party is over and a lethal blow is being dealt to someone who had broken the law or who had been so greedy that they didn't let anything stand in the way of their greed, even to the point of doing something illegal or unethical and getting caught at it now. Or, you know, having justice done, and it's really time. Yeah, and you may be happy about that, Sagittarius. Sagittarians are very high-minded, but they are interested in what is best for everyone, and that's why Sagittarius rules international law. And so Sagittarians are broad-minded people because your ruler is Jupiter. And Jupiter is going to change signs this year. And it is on May 26th, Jupiter is going to go into Gemini, and that will oppose your Sun, Sagittarius. And so if you don't make up your mind to react positively to some positive news that you get, in other words, if you don't think, oh gee, this is not the time yet, then you might be missing a good chance, Sagittarius. Because when Jupiter goes into Gemini and begins to oppose your Sun, other people are going to have really good opportunities. So why shouldn't you follow up on one right now while you've got Venus in your sign? There's nothing stopping you, Sagittarius. So if I were you, I'd make my move. If I were you, and just go forward and do something that you'd really love doing. Or do something that you believe in. Or follow a path that makes you feel good, as if that's what your life was all about. Because this would be a good time, you know, to follow your own star, Sagittarius. Follow the light. It will lead you on, and you can trust it. And there's going to be something very nice coming into your life if you just move forward now. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Oh, Capricorn. This is a time, Capricorn, when I'll bet you're really serious about something. You may even be facing grim reality. What would it be about? Money. Capricorn, yours is a business sign. And your sign rules longevity. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is the planet of time. So Capricorns tend to live a long time, and they like to be very careful with their money because they've got to make it last, and they know it. And so Capricorn, this is a time when you can be extremely serious about your own finances and also about what you want to do in the future that you can afford. Or another way of putting that is you may be wanting to realign some of your investments to make them more profitable in the future, in anticipation of budgets that are only going to go up. You know, costs will go up. And you may be wondering if you're going to have enough money to sustain that rise in costs. Do costs ever come down? Well, they can. They can in times of economic recession, or certainly depression. And there is the possibility under this new moon in Capricorn, which is the first one in your sign, Capricorn. There's a great one at the end of the year on December 30th in your sign, which will result in the culmination of the changes, positive culmination in the changes you make this year. And so this can be a time when you're facing grim reality, and you may want to cut costs in one area because you're just fed up with how high they've become. And you may also want to do something about either making more money or making your investments work a little harder for you so that you have an extra cushion as time goes forward, because costs always rise. And so I think that you're facing the nitty-gritty about money right now. This does not mean you're broke, Capricorn. This means that you can see down the road. And as far as costs go, they're not looking too good. They keep going up like a mountain that you have to climb. Well, it's going to take money to climb that mountain. And so you've got to sort of really think about your financial future right now, Capricorn. And if I were you, I would cut costs anywhere that you can right now and keep the money. Just keep it in your pocket. This isn't really a time to be spending money. Even though it would be a good investment for your future, I would put it off a little bit right now, Capricorn, and be very cautious, because the party's over. It doesn't mean it's over for you, Capricorn. It does mean that something is changing in your life in a way that is making you face reality. This could also involve some sort of disillusionment that you have about current financial conditions. I don't just mean the costs. I mean the way that other people look at money. You know, as you go along and you're handling your money in your way, there can be other people that are handling money in a totally different way. And you know, it may not make any sense to you at all. And it shouldn't. You know, either you work for money or money works for you. There's nothing else to do with money except that. Okay, so either you're out there getting a paycheck or you're making your investments bring some money into you. That's what we all do. And so this is a time when you need to think about that really seriously, Capricorn, because you are going to live a long time, no matter what your health is right now. And I would strongly suggest that you always try to get the best health care, because you really are going to live a long time. And you may as well just be practical about that. So if you've got a sweet tooth, Capricorn, if it's okay to do that a little bit, fine. But if you're doing too much of it, that could cause a health problem. So you got to be careful. And just remember that you want to be at your best for as long as you can. And that is going to take some tender, loving care, not only for your own health, but for the health of your money as well. And so you got to pay attention to both of those things. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Aquarius. Aquarius, this is a time when there can be an awful lot of things going on in the background of your life that you can be worried about. And the reason why is that new moon in Capricorn with the Sun, Moon, Mars, and Pluto are all right behind your sun sign. So in the background of your life, Aquarius, you really are having to face grim reality. Now, grim reality simply means that you may be facing economic conditions that you have no influence over. Okay, so you don't control interest rates, you don't control debt, unless you're racking up a lot of debt, and then you really got to stop and pay it down, because having debt is a good way to go broke, because you're only making somebody else rich when you're paying interest. You know, you're just giving them your money. You're not getting anything else for it. You're just giving them the money. That's what interest is. If you can earn interest, you're getting the money. Do you see? But if you're paying it, somebody else is getting your money. And that's why it's not a good idea to be in debt. It's a much better idea not to have debt. Because when you don't have debt, you do have money. And it doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor. Whatever you've got is yours. And that's important. And so for your future, which is what your sign rules, Aquarius, you've got to be in the best financial situation you can for the long run. And it's just very important for you to sort of set things up in a way where you don't have to worry about them too much, but that they're not harming you in any way. And so you need to be careful with your money, because Jupiter and Uranus, which is retrograde in Taurus, are both squaring your sun. And the 4 planets in Capricorn are right behind your sun sign. And Mars and Pluto together, justice is going to be done to somebody. And it can be somebody that you know in the background of your life, Aquarius. It may not be you, but it could be somebody you know, or somebody that you've heard about in the news. It is somebody in upper management, and their greed just has gotten the best of them to the point where they have caused a degradation or a loss of prestige to the organization they belong to, so they haven't done that any good, or else they are simply now being caught having done something that's very well documented behind the scenes, which could be unethical business practices. And so you may know somebody or be reading about somebody like that. And, you know, somebody's going to pull the plug on them, Aquarius. And so I would be careful who your friends are right now. And keep a little distance from anybody that looks like they're in a little bit of trouble, because they might have finally gotten caught. In other words, everything was fine with them as long as they didn't get caught. But now they could be held accountable. Because what Capricorn represents in its highest form is trust and respect, earned the hard way, by being honorable. And the party's over for the people that weren't honorable, or that let their greed get the best of them so that they were doing either illegal or unethical things. And it harmed others, or it harmed the reputation of the organization they belonged to. And now they have dealt that organization a lethal blow through their own greed and their own actions. And that's why the party is over for them. So Aquarius, if you know anybody like that, or if you've even read about somebody like that, I would keep my distance away from them if I were you, Aquarius. You don't want anything to rub off on you. Capricorn rules people's public reputation. So you have to be real careful who you're rubbing elbows with, Aquarius, because there's somebody in the background of your life that is not what they pretend to be. And you should part ways with them. They're not really good enough for you, Aquarius. Even if you like them, they're not good enough for you, because they don't share your basic values. And when we don't share the same values, you can't have trust, and you can't even be a good friend. And you sure can't have love. So it could be time to part ways with somebody. I am predicting for you, Aquarius, you will not miss them at all. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, you have Neptune and Saturn in your sun sign. They're the only two planets in a water sign. So Pisces, you could almost feel like you were getting lost in a little dream right now. Well, it's not really a little dream. It's something that sort of consumes you, or that you're thinking about, or it has become a part of you, a part of your life, even a part of your heart. And Pisces, I would urge you, since there are no other planets in the water signs, that you have to keep the faith. You have to believe and keep believing in that dream, or in whatever has made a difference in your life, or has become a part of your life in one way or another. Maybe not outwardly. No, maybe it's all spiritual. Maybe it's all emotional. That's fine. Water signs are emotional. And Pisces has the ability to rise above a lot of things and see the best in people. So you have that quality as well, Pisces. And so this is simply a time, since there's no fortification in the water signs, but the two planets that are in the water signs are in your sign, and so you need to hold on to that dream, or you need to hold on to that wish of yours, or you need to hold on to what's really in your heart right now. And do not doubt it for a second. You see, faith is a two-way street. You have to have as much faith in your dream as your dream has in you. That's how to make it come true. Sticking together. And even if it's just a dream, if it's real to you, don't let it go. Embrace it. Because it's a part of you now. There's no letting go. That's the nice thing about maybe wishing on a star. The nice thing about it is the star's always there, and so's the wish. And all it takes is you to make it come true. And you can do that whenever you want, because your ruler is in your sign for the only time in your life. And now this planet of reality, Saturn, which is ruling the Capricorn new moon tomorrow, is in your sign. It is sextiling the sign it rules. You know, the planets in your sign always sextile the planets in Capricorn. So if you're having to face grim reality, it really may not be so grim. It may be something that you sort of always knew was the truth. And now, okay, you got to face it. But I think it's going to be fine with you to do that. So, go forward, Pisces, and be sure and take your dream with you. It takes two to have faith, and two to dream. And that's what life's about. And that's why we rise above our troubles, because there's always something better ahead. And you know that, Pisces. So keep going. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see this show on my Karen Campbell YouTube channel, and I wish you would subscribe there and tell your friends about that. And then I want to tell you that next week, on the January 17th, we will be doing the sun sign predictions. I mean me. I'll be doing the sun sign predictions for all the sun signs of 2024. So I hope you tune in next week and get a little preview of what's coming up for you. And until then, I hope you have a wonderful week yourself. And I, once again, want to assure you of how grateful I am for my wonderful viewers. I may not know each of you personally, but I feel you coming through the camera. I feel you there. And I just want to thank you for that. Okay, and I'll see you next week. Bye.